Wheels of willpower.
It was a bright Sunday morning. Birds chirped cheerfully over the neighborhood playground, and the air smelled of fresh grass. Jo, self-appointed coach of bicycling, stood confidently to train her little sister. Beside her, Jen stands frozen and nervous. Mom approaches Jen, bringing with her a comforting aroma of cinnamon. Mom reassures her. "You've got this, sunshine. It's okay to fall. First attempt." At playground, Jo initiates the classic push and release, setting the stage for Jen's wobbly adventure. "Just keep pedaling, look ahead, and trust me," Jo screamed. Pigeons scatter in a flurry as Jen rode 3 feet before wobbling wildly and staring directly into a bush. Jen's attempt ends in a comical crash into a bush. "I was looking ahead, but the bush jumped at me," managing to smile shyingly. Dad, who was watching the whole show, clapped and declared, "Fantastic start! Extra points for creativity in landing." "Let's go home now, get some rest, and be back tomorrow?" In the middle of all the fun and mess, the pigeons return, their cooing like music in the air. Attempt number 2. Next day in the park, Jo came up with a wild idea. "I am going to tie this rope to your cycle and pull you. That way, it will be easier for you to get balance." She carefully tied the rope to Jen's cycle and asked her to start riding. Jen giggles and plays along as Jo tells her she's being pulled by a super-fast, invisible rocket ship. But everything goes wrong when Jo trips and falls, and her big plan turns into a comic disaster. Jo wobbles and falls to the side as Dad watches, smiling and saying, "I think rocket ship needs some trainings. Let's call it a day." Now that Jo is hurt and out of ideas, Dad stepped forward. He consulted Jo and Jen that he would come up with an amusing idea next day. Attempt number 3. Dad shows up in the park next morning with a bunch of helium balloons he bought from the park stall. His eyes twinkled with excitement. "Girls, ready to see helium balloon magic? Watch how they will help you stay up and balance," Dad said as he was tying them to the bicycle. Jen begins to pedal, testing the limits of the newest invention. Suddenly, a wild gust of wind whooshed in, lifting Jen's cycle slightly off the ground. She blinked in confusion, floating like a surprised parade balloon. The wind blew harder, tugging the balloons away with a loud pop, flop, foof. The cycle dropped straight back to the ground in a yet another wobbly crash. Dad and Jen lay tangled in a colorful pile of balloons, looking like survivors of a party gone terribly wrong. After a week of disasters, Jo sat on the couch in their living room, watching Jen's sad, disappointed face. Mom enters the scene with a delicious home-baked cake to cheer her up. After days of relentless effort, Jo, still searching for a breakthrough, determined to help her sister. Suddenly, Jo's eyes light up as she remembered the grassy hill in the playground, sparking an idea that could change everything. With newfound enthusiasm, Jo exclaims, "Jen, what if we try rolling down that hill? No pedaling, just balance." With a mix of excitement and anticipation, Jen responds, "All right, yet another attempt." At the crest of a grassy hill, Jo meticulously sets Jen's bicycle, ensuring stability under the bright sun. Jen, perched atop the cycle, reveals a blend of excitement and fear as she prepares for the descent. With encouraging words, Jo shouts, "Feet up! Go with the flow!" With a surge of confidence, Jen conquers her fear and joyfully shouts, "I did it!" She masters the art of gliding gracefully. Her laughter flies with the wind as she runs over the green hill. Jo jumps and dances with joy. Dad captures the scene, his voice ringing with excitement and pride. And there she goes, the youngest champion! Jen, with a smile, reflects, "You know, falling was kind of fun." Joe nods. Failing is just practice with better stories. After a few more days of practice, she became a pro. The sisters rode down the trail, their laughter and cheers filling the park. The end.